Testing, testing, testing. Hopefully the audio is good. It's always the big stressor, I think. As you can see, oh, here we go. Half of sale. Audio clear. All right, cool. Good now. As you guys can see, I finally have my copy of Batman Year One. Okay. Well, I should be looking through Slamia again. Yeah, so I finally a retailer friend of mine in Kingston, Ontario, immediately volunteered to put one aside for me. And how can I say no? I mean, knowing he was going to sit out for who knows how long. But I finally picked it up like last week. And boy, is this a sexy thing. Oh my God. You can see a little bit of texture, perhaps a little out of focus. Some of the extreme scanning. When you zoom and scan, you can lose focus pretty well. But this is probably tight enough focus for the size it was scanned at. But see if I put my glasses on. I'm wearing my drawing glasses right now. There we go. If you have a copy of this and you can zoom in, you can see a little bit of blurring on the fine line stuff, the super fine lines, like the raw edge, tiniest little bit of blurring. You can see more of the blurring than like stains and stuff, like little bits of stuff that got accidentally left on board. Wow. So you can just look at this and you can see like the different qualities of the materials that went in. There's a little bit of tape on the backside. This is keeping this from turning fully. Oh, look at that. You can see some of the white paint he laid down got rubbed around a bit. There's some stains on it. Picked up some graphite residual ink, stuff like that. But wow. Oh, you can really see that paper texture here. I think this is like literally at the limit of what the scanner is able to capture. A bit of white paint. I love that you can actually see like everything. And seeing this, you know, it makes me, I really wish we kind of got like this era Mazzucchelli Batman, Hellboy story. That would have been lovely. That's an age 6 David Mazzucchelli Batman story. Possibly still better than mine. Wow. You can run some of the paper texture behind the text here. Well, this is all Mazzucchelli sketches, as usual, but come on over to Batman. So, Batman Gordon. And various characters. Love that cover. Oh my God. Splash pages. Wow. God, I remember having to do that with my tools all the time. I don't have to do it nearly as much because I'm using like ballpoints and stuff, but using brush and nib, yeah, I do that all the time. wonder if these were done for patching. Just look at this. I could probably do a whole stream going through this. Some fit into photostat. Oh, here we go. This is just, oh my God. But I just love the fact that the photostat's faded so dark. And this one hasn't done the reverse fading. So what this is a negative photostat. So it's it's there are text machines that they would put out. They would just type it up, and it would put out text on film, and you could just paste it up at the size you need. Wow. Some of these pages I've only seen in color for so long that the colors are actually in my head when I look at the drawing. I actually miss this type of information being like hand lettered on the artboard. This is the old oversized, I think, Strathmore 500 vellum paper. I can see some tooth in the paper. Wow, so good, so good. And like pretty much, I mean, this is the bleed, but so much of this is not to any bleed whatsoever. You're even cutting off some of the bottom bleed here. This is going like right to the bottom. This is bleeding, that's bleeding. It's bleeding off the bottom. Everyone knows what the bleed is, right? Bleed is where the printed artwork actually is physically cut because it goes right to the edge of the printed paper. So when it's trimmed down for size. So this slighter blue line here, can you see that? Yeah. Slighter blue line here is the actual trim line. So if you draw it to this darker blue line, everything else gets cut, including the black areas. That gives you your print size. Gosh, I almost feel like maybe I should just go through like one issue a week. Because here's issue one. Wow, look at that. Rule of thumb I picked up early in my career was that whenever you break a window, you have to throw about 50% more broken glass than is actually there. Otherwise, it doesn't look right. So that's a rule of thumb. So you kind of get a shape of it, but there's no way that all this glass came from that small amount of breakage. Okay, so that's just how they do it. And I'm guessing, like this is the size you did his pencils in, and you just ink everything at this size. Actually, it looks like he did his layouts on comic board. That's comic board right there. I usually use by reams of printout paper. That's what I use. Oh, yeah, a sheet of vellum here. I think I forgot that that's even there. with Miller brought Merkel back from Dark Knight Returns. God, I love this book. Okay, yeah. I should really stop, but I'm just gonna. Oh, this scene. Oh my God. I actually did a riff when Frank Miller, in the deepest grips of his alcoholism, did his weird little anti-Occupy rant, which was as diluted as could be. I did a little strip riffing on Frank Miller watching late night TV, catching the news, losing his shit over the Occupy movement, and then dying when he realized how much of a hypocrite he's become. But, that was me. That was fun. Maybe I'll post that somewhere online. God, look at this. Just beautiful little pencils, like so minimalist that nailed. Leonard Kirk does layouts as tight, if not tighter than this. I mean, Leonard's just an amazing artist. Oh, look at that cover. Although I think it's just this is the cover. This is the. I think that might be the first page. All the bats showing up. I guess this is a stat. Wonder what the hell he drew there first. That those incredibly simplified bills need to be there instead. Wow, this top scene in the destroyed building is so good. I love the bit when this cat jumps like right to Selena, comes through, summons the bats. Yeah. See a little bit of white paint as he cleans up the cat, but just a little bit. Well, their little sidekick is like still seeing the cat. So good. Skiing effortlessly. Wow. We're getting close to the end. So yeah, I'm gonna finish going. I cannot. More pencils. Oh my God, look at this. You even do the lettering placement. Wow. I wonder what kind of like extra stuff's at the back of this. It's so crazy. Yeah. If any of you guys go, yeah, I really want to get a copy. Oh God, yeah. I mean, I think right after I'm done streaming, I think I sit down and take another look through this. So I've been holding off. In fact, I took the film off just today. So. when they try and get Gordon's kid, which is the Batman saving Gordon's kids, what cements the relationship. Just the fact that he shoots Batman. Practically blind without my glasses. Nice little bit to say that Gordon's always known that Bruce Wayne's Batman. So well done. So well done. Oh, wow. Imagine how much all these artifacts are worth if people don't own them privately. I don't remember this at all. Must not have been used. I don't remember this at all. Who's Who? Oh, maybe it was in the Who's Who books from that era. We're going back to mid '80s here. I can't remember that shit. Oh, wow. There's just so much of this work from this book that's just worth blowing up this big. Little bio on David Mazzucchelli. He hasn't done anything, as far as I know, since Asterios Polyp, which is arguably his masterpiece. I mean, if you love this more, that's you. But I mean, Asterios Polyp is just such a bigger, more ambitious book, and it does everything it sets out to do. I have to think that Mazzucchelli's retired. I mean, I don't see him going that long without creating something. I just dropped the pins. I'm out to trade now. Yeah, I don't see him taking that long off without anything coming out, unless it's intentional retirement. I know that Mignola's announced his retirement several times, and he still keeps coming back and doing things, which I certainly appreciate. But yeah, so this is Batman Year One. You can see some painter's tape stuff in the back here. This is such an astounding book. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, sorry, just catching up at all the answer comments there. Yeah, I would. Doesn't have to be, Asterios Polyp. I'd love for his rubber blanket stuff to be brought back into print. I haven't seen it since it first came out, and I was not smart enough to buy multiple editions, so I do not have them anymore because I made the mistake of lending them to people who never gave them back. All right, so some people were watching my socials this week. I did a little bit more work on Etrigan. So if you remember, you can see the black and white work underneath all this. So what I did is I put on a mask, and then I mixed some naphthol red light and cadmium red light. Cadmium red light. Now, cadmium is one of those toxic metals. So what I do is I should probably pick up like an actual serious like painter's mask, like the actual gas mask, to fill that out. So, but what I do is I just wear my glasses and I put on like an N95 filtration mask, KN95, I should say. Some like little traps of red there. So what I'm going to do here is I put the yellow here where the flame burning up between his hands is, and I put a tint of yellow on his hands and his face, because his face and hands are yellow. His eyes are red, but his hands and face are yellow. And that's pretty much where I stopped. I'm probably going to give it a brush coat. You can see some brush strokes that I left in here on purpose. I like texture and noise building up in this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this get at least 2 solid days of drying. That's important. You got to get, when you do multiple layers of acrylic, I think it's kind of important to get excess layers of, there's a hair that fell in there, excess layers of moisture out. So I'm going to let this dry fully. I'm going to give it a nice matte medium layer, which will push everything flat to the same level. So there's areas of shine in here where, despite using a matte medium thinner for the airbrush, it still came out with a little bit of shine in it, which is unfortunate. So I'll just use some standard matte medium. And then I'll be able to finish it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reestablish by adding the red and the yellow. So it's cadmium red, like natural yellow, cadmium yellow medium with some yellow ochre, thinned out with these 2 mediums here. Yes. The lid was not properly. Clears this ultra matte varnish, recommended by my son, and acrylic thinner. Now the combinations of these 2 kind of matted out the acrylic a bit, but that didn't stop me from adding some matte medium too, just to give it a little less shine. I like a gloss finish on a piece, but I don't like the gloss in the interim. It makes it harder to judge the colors. So by going in and adding the local color yellow here, I'm gonna, everything that goes on top of this is gonna be brushed, like the eyes going to red, some highlights on the red eyes from the fire and everything. That's all going to be done with brushes. So I'll be going back into the very traditional brightest brights, darkest darks. And the idea being that your brightest brights is going to be like it has to be the source of your light source if it's inside the piece. So the closest to white is going to be in this area here. And that might mean, I mean, if there's a reflection, like let's say on his nails or his teeth or his red eyes or his shiny metal, shiny polished horns there, you will get something close to that intense highlight, and then it'll fall off towards yellow, then orange and red. And the way the light hits his yellow skin will also be affected because of it's more of an orange warm light. It'll tilt it away from yellow, but allow other colors in there. Etrigan has like these black shapes right around his eyes, and they don't appear very color reflective, so they're going to stay very close to back out. I'm probably going to put some color tint in so they're not popping out completely, but there is some depth in this piece. And he's wearing this dark cloak over top of everything, so that's going to go. You can see a white line I scroll on here because I just did not want to lose that edge. So it's still visible, but by the time I'm done the painting, there'll be a whole bunch of paint on top of that, so you won't see that line stopping it. So yeah, so this is where I left off on this. How are we doing time-wise? It's 7:30, so okay, good. I only spent a half hour. I was worried I was going to go like an hour on Batman Year One. I was really worried I was going to go an hour because I could so easily do that. In fact, I could pick it up and go for another half hour now. But yeah, so I don't think I'm going to work too much on that because there's part of me that kind of thinks that maybe I should establish like what the lightest lights and darkest darks would look like. Let me pull this down here a bit. That. So it looks pretty close to white on my laptop, but that's almost like a 40% gray in person. You can see like the light's hitting it It's shining off my finger quite a bit. It's pretty intense there. If I turn this on. It looks a little bit darker now. So that's pretty close. That's closest to the white it gets there, but still not a white. Let me pull up some titanium white. Oh, this is gold. No, I don't want to mix gold in with my yellows. Yellow oxide, which is essentially yellow ochre. And I use this to, there we go. I use this to tint off the white from too much sun orange, just in case. This cadmium-free red light, which is still more of an orange to me. Here's scarlet, and here's primary red. It shouldn't be confused, like, I mean, because I still prefer the cadmium red because it's cadmium red light, which is still pretty amazing color. Just a little bit better than all the stuff they mix to fake it. Clean this brush. Brush mostly clean. So the problem is as opaque as titanium white can be, it's not as incredibly opaque as I would like it to be. So here we are right near the bottom. A little bit past the bottom edge of the paint. You know, I think I want to lift this up just a little bit. How's that? That's pretty good. All right. So I'm just gonna, I think you may have seen me do this a little bit with the white paint last week when I was just dealing with black and white. So this is a very, very thin coat of paint. And part of it is because I don't want heavy brush strokes to draw attention down here. So I'm going to do like thin coats to make sure that this all pops up. And eventually I'll get to like a white. You can see how much more intense that is than what looked like white to start with. So hopefully you can really see like You can see areas where the white really, really gets opaque. It really just wipes it. And it's a lot better to go on with thin coat after thin coat after thin coat. Then you can smooth them out a little bit better. Every time you see like those like lines of parallel brush strokes, you want to push them back down a bit, smooth them out, so they can have like a much nicer intense area. So if I go back in with airbrush again, which I might, just to tint it slightly, there's less texture on top of the surface paint. And every time it's mostly dry and you go over top of it with another thin layer, the closer it gets to complete white. And the washout occurs, which is great. A lot of the reason why I'm putting down this white right here is because it's going to make the other colors going on top of it that much easier. White supports layered colors much more effectively than other colors do. Too much. I'll wipe it away a bit. That leaves very little paint for me to cover up when I go back to fix that little mistake I just made, which is losing some of that edge of that hand in the foreground. Oops, there's some paint on my finger already. Just dry brushing some of this white where some of those highlights are going to show up on the fingers. Not going to be as intense as the white highlights will be in the actual fire, but they serve as guides for when I'm painting up those values there. This went on too thick. Just wanted to push back the red showing through. Thank you, Bigby. Sometimes I'm going to double check his collar. I think I'm forgetting some details in there, and I'd like to double check them before I dive in there. Always good thing. I think the first time I saw someone actually using their fingers to move away paint was Bill Sienkiewicz at a convention. He just literally just moved his finger in and just cleared it out. And I was like, oh my God, you're allowed to do that? I mean, I'm sure I've done it as a kid when I didn't know better. But as an adult artist, you stupidly start to, expect more from the medium, and you end up doing things like, oh no, you have to let your brush do all the work. When it comes right down to it, anything in your hand and your hand is actually a brush. Picked up this acrylic bridge for like painting, and it's so flexible. It's not terrible, but it's a lot more flexible than I was hoping it would be. So we have this intense light source from directly underneath his chin. So that means the most intense part of this light is going to hit the underside of his chin. And then underneath his fangs, let me just spread that out a bit. This matte medium is almost there. I'm gonna have to open up another container. I think I got a few of these lying around. Just scribbling down some yellow so I can get some of that color spread into the darker zones a little bit better. Also pushes the white back a bit, which is good. Oh, that's one light that just went out. Oh. That's weird colors on the screen. It looks like everything went gray, but it's very transparent here. Part of that's because the transparent matte medium hasn't dried yet, so it's going to have that kind of milky color to it until it dries. That's a lot. I think I'm going to wipe that down. What if it's the lamp going or the bulb? Not quite sure. This is a lot lighter than I want these eyes to look, but I'll put some red in here. It's going to go darker than that, though, too. There we go. So let me just reestablish some of the blacks back into where some of those darks have to go. Hey, baby. Yeah, this is entirely for myself. We'll probably put it up eventually on this on my shop. Um, I like Etrigan's one of the characters. Like, given the choice, I'll paint on my own. He's just that much fun to paint. Him and the Thing, Hellboy, those type of characters. I guess I'll fix that. Yeah, I think Kirby in an interview actually said that Valiant's demon or Raymond's demon was the actual influence. I think that's a gimme. Everyone knows that already. When it's too gray, damn it. I got rid of all the white before. You gotta be really careful when reintroducing black after you had some white in your brush. It can turn into this incredibly cold gray, which is terrible, especially if you just want like a thin wash with that black to go over top. Just kind of give it that kind of like weird skin texture you figure a demon would have. A little bit of shadow there, a little bit of shadow there, shadow there, a little bit of shadow there. Certain things you can't do with pen and ink that you can do with paint. And part of that is the just the overwhelming amount of like textural deviations you can get into. And just like dry brushing down some like noise. That. Some of that. Some of that red. Yeah, weird color for right here. There you go. I think it's got to go a little darker. Oh, look at this little, not paying attention. A little bit of pink just jumped on my hand and bounced everywhere. I rubbed it off. I can rub it down a little bit. That's okay. We're doing time-wise. 8:09. All right. Okay. Well, I was going to work on Vikings tonight. I was going to do. I wonder if I want to hit that one more matte. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some super dark red. This darkest red I got. Do this on the eyes before I. So it might be clogged. Terrible if I'm out of this color. Ooh, look at that. That's like dried. I think I can wet that back into use. Now I'm just going to be darkening those eyes a bit, so I don't need them to be, this paint to be that good. I'll just have to buy some new paint. Actually add some black to that. Very small amount. Oh, that's really out of focus, isn't it? Still really out of focus. There we go. Yeah, etching is so weird. Just insanely weird. I mean, just the whole cast of characters he's got. It's just Kirby. Like, you have this feeling like Kirby was like just looking for ideas, and he went, "Oh, hey, here's an idea." So I'm gonna take a little bit of yellow ochre, and I'm just gonna. Go over the top of this in black again anyway, but I just want to get some of that dark, deep red in there. Something about going underneath black horn, which is just kind of cool looking. Well, yeah, so what's happening here is we have a lot of like establishers. There's my blackest blacks here in the facial details. And of course, got my lightest lights with my my white highlights on the teeth here. Everything needs to be pushed back a little bit. Um, it's a little more tricky when you're not working by reference. I could have sculpted I guess an Etrigan reference and then work from that. But when you're not dealing with stuff like that, it becomes a little more tricky because you gotta like move back and forth between like find your highlights, find your dark zones, all that stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna take some of this black here. I'm going to take some of this red I picked up for the horns, some matte medium, and I'm just going to spread it out over the shape here. Not going to be too precious about it because I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of other stuff as I work my way towards the end of this. So obviously this is not a commercial piece. I'm not like rushing about towards finish. I got some other pieces I could have shared for that. Client didn't want me to do the piece online, so this is just me getting the shadow parts of Etrigan's cape and everything down back to dark value here, which will help me control all the values up here in the face. Actually add a little bit more of this red. Yeah, actually I love that red too. That'll lighten it up too. Still very dark. Just paint right over top of those light areas. Paint over them again if I need to. This is just me using up the last of the pigment. I have to kind of go darker in that horn too. Yeah, highlight right here. All right. Do I want to work on Vikings tonight? I was planning to. I did some work on it earlier today, and it wasn't going great. But I do have all these amazing Viking books I've been reading. I've been really, really not just fueling stuff I'm going to be doing in the first couple of Viking stories, but I'm now got a log file for stories like a year or two down the road. So, oh my gosh, I got Viking stories up the wazoo. Hopefully you guys like them. All right. See here, it's 8:21. I really don't think I should start trying to paint any Viking stuff now. I was going to cover. I'm going to work on. I got the thumbnails for it, so I don't see it handy. So that's also a sign I probably shouldn't dig it out. All right, so here I managed to go through Batman Year One. I managed to go do a huge amount of work here on this Etrigan piece. I'm pretty happy with it so far. The head still looks like a kind of like a whole bunch of turkey meat was what duck meat, duck skin that Raymond used. It's getting pretty close to being done, actually. I know it doesn't necessarily look like it. This fire is going to mostly be a special effect, so there's going to be some more airbrush stuff and everything. I'm going to be doing some value work on this shadow side of the hand here in the foreground. With the light blowout happening over here on this side, it's not a huge amount more details. I'm going to paint in some stuff knowing full well that it's going to get covered with some splatter and some airbrush. So yeah, this is getting pretty darn close to being done. There's some couple more glazes of some colors and some matte medium I want to put on to unify everything a bit more. But I think it's getting there. So yeah, next week for sure there'll definitely be some Viking stuff because I can't promise Viking stuff for 2 weeks in a row and not deliver. I'm gonna try and finish this during the week, but I got so much, like I got Death Tally stuff and Second Coming stuff and what we bring only Death stuff to do. My son is almost done doing the boat. He says he's going to be done sculpting my Viking longship by December. So that's pretty freaking awesome. So I'll wave that around for you guys. All right. So thank you ever so much for showing up, hanging out, asking questions, sharing thoughts. It's very good not to feel lonely here. Yeah, so there's still going to be a lot more like work on this, but it's getting close. Trust me, it's getting close to being done. Yeah, that's it for this week. I think this is where I should leave it because we're at the point now where I'm like looking at acrylic paint drawing and I realize it's like, yeah, too late to start anything else. Too soon to keep working on this. All right, so as always, if you want to support me more directly, apart from liking and subscribing to my wonderful videos here, I assume they're wonderful. You can join my $1 a month Patreon. It's only $1 a month. Puts $1 directly in my pocket every single month, which makes it in this economy makes it a lot easier to be an artist. Trust me. Want you guys to have the best possible week as we inch ever closer to winter. I'm actually making plans for next winter already, so that's pretty freaking cool. But yeah, so this is you can even see. If I can pull it here, you can see through that white. So as intense as that white went down, once it dries, a lot of that color will come through, which is one of the nice things. You can allow a lot of color to bleed through in acrylics if you're using a translucent method like oils. So you can have a lot of color show up out of something that looks like there's no color. So that's one of the benefits of this. More shadows. There's going to be more harder edge shadows on the side of the hand. More shadow going to that side of the head here because we have a reflected red light, but not a light source. So, but we are going to have some like light hit like the edges of his ears here. So that's we got a lot of stuff I'm thinking about for this piece and a lot of stuff for the next piece. Yeah, that's it. This week was the first Thursday. This Wednesday will be the first where I'm posting like 2 days worth of Witchtober strips to keep that going. So what's your Wednesday this Wednesday, another second Thursday this Thursday, and next Saturday, next Sunday, more Viking stuff. So hey, I'm more than happy to share the process. I'm more than happy to answer any and all questions. I'm more than happy to do demos. If you guys want to see me show something, specific skill set or something I do, feel free to leave it as a message, and I can dedicate a video to explicitly that. I mean, last year I did a video on head drawing, and it was one of the first times where I didn't know how to fix the sound. Sound was terrible. So I really think I should redo that head video one again, if only just to get rid of the one with the terrible sound quality. Well, with my luck, it'll probably be bad quality again. But things like that, yeah, like just any drawing hands, figures, proportions, any of that stuff. I'm more than happy to get into it. I taught for over a decade, so I got all these skills I'd love to reactivate. Other than that, you guys, great week. See you next Sunday. Oh my God, what's next one? Today is the 24th. Oh, so next Sunday is 1st of December. Oh my God, for some reason I thought November at 31. For some reason I just completely blanked on that. All right, so next week, Americans have Thanksgiving this week, which is, congratulations on you. We already got it out of the way because we don't like winter up here in Canada, even though we have more of it. And yeah, we're getting closer to Christmas. No idea what I'm going to do for like a Christmas stream. I'll probably do a Christmas stream. Anyway, guys, I'm taking forever to say goodnight. You have a good night and a good week, and hopefully I'll see you in 7.